Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a fucking ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Ollie Bay.
Today is December 3rd, 2019. Besides our win Sunday, we got some good news today.
Good news for the NFC South.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. First, got the All-22 done, film review. A few interesting things. The video is actually almost a half hour long that I'll put up on YouTube, or it'll be up by the time this podcast is up, or this afternoon, something of that nature. It'll be up today. Keep an eye out for it. I've got it done already. I'm just rendering and got to upload it. All that crap. Well, what was it we saw in the broadcast version? What was our conclusion of the game?
It was awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
Our defensive line dominated.
Okay.
Played pretty well. The secondary played. I mean, the defense as a whole, I think, played well as they've played all year. The offense was a little more hit or miss. I feel like this is like a pop quiz. Like, I'm completely unprepared for this.
I know, it's like
I'm not used to thinking on these episodes. Like, I just have to listen to you. Not used to the participation.
We need to go back and listen to our instant reaction podcast.
Yeah, I was a little blah after that one.
After the podcast or after the game?
After the game. For a win, I didn't feel like I was...
Oh, you're just getting used to them. You expect them now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We want to expect the Buccaneers to win. Well, here's what I saw in All-22. Defensive line did not play that well.
Really?
Yeah, surprisingly. Vita Vea and Sue were basically nullified. They each had one, maybe two decent plays. Other than that, they didn't really contribute a whole lot. Who did was Jason Pierre-Paul, which is funny because I've been talking about how he just really hasn't been showing up that much. This game, he killed it. He was by far our star player.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't see it on the broadcast version as much.
Not at all.
Yeah, in All-22, man, he was doing a lot. Right behind him would be Shaq Barrett.
He did have a good game.
He did have a good game. Not as good as JPP did, though, surprisingly. Our secondary played extremely well again. Our offense, like you said, they were... Jameis Winston came out, and he just... he was doing all the stuff I don't like to see him do. Scrambled when he doesn't need to. Not seeing open receivers. There was a couple times where he missed wide open touchdowns.
Ugh.
Yeah, one was Ronald Jones did a wheel route and was blazing down the right sideline wide open.
Okay, but we're being a little greedy here because we did put up 28 points, which is nothing to shake a stick at.
This is true, but we left a lot of points on the field, too.
So we could have annihilated them even more than a 17-point game.
Our longest play of the game was 38 yards. Or, wait a minute. 32 yards. Theirs was 30.
To Godwin?
No, that was to Perriman.
Okay.
Their longest was 39. Now, we had 6 plays over 20 yards. They only had 3. So we did pretty good in that aspect. But that was mainly our secondary. They were just shutting things down again. Telling you, I think they might have clicked. There's some craziness going on back there. And they're not doing, it's not a lot of tricky stuff either. I think Bowles will probably start integrating more of that. Although, I will say this, Devin White did the same thing that the New Orleans Saints linebackers were doing, where he'd act like he was going to rush. Then he would jump back and actually, he jumped up and turned around and faced the sidelines for a second and then turned around and run in.
I wonder if we took that play from the Saints.
Well, if we didn't, he did. That's straight from their playbook. And on that play, we totally demolished their offensive line. That was a beautiful play. I pointed it out in the video I made because it was just... And when I started that play, I was like, hey, I don't know who to tell you to watch here because everybody does great on this one.
Take your pick.
Yeah, we just totally demolished. And that one, it should have been intentional grounding because we got Minshew, grabbed hold of him, was taking him down, and he just threw the ball right in the dirt.
He had a couple of those.
He did. Now, the ref crew wasn't that bad. There was a lot of that little holding stuff going on. They didn't call a lot of stuff. It was really interesting. I like this ref crew. They let guys play. However, there was one where Winston, it was when he threw that left-handed pass. I think he threw it out to Dare or something. Well, he was being grabbed by this guy, Smoot. Never heard of him before. One of their defensive tackles. Dwayne Smoot, number 94. He was only in for a couple plays. But Winston basically ran into him, and Smoot grabbed hold of him. Well, Jameis Winston threw the ball out of his hand. Smoot was standing there holding Winston, saw him throw the ball, watched the ball go, then grabbed Winston by the back of the jersey and just snapped him down. That's when Winston got hurt. Remember, he was on the field. Everybody came around. Yeah, I mean, he violently threw him to the ground. I mean, Winston landed hard. They didn't call that. I was like, yeah, if you're going to have those rules in the game, you need to call that one.
That's why you have the rule.
Yeah. But this ref crew was they were very hands off. I liked them.
Other than that, no complaints.
Right. I wish they would have called the intentional groundings. They did call one with Minshew.
I just don't like that rule because it's so inconsistently called.
Right. That's the thing. It's very inconsistently called, but it's one of those rules.
Parameters are pretty defined.
Yeah, they're kind of subjective, though, in the sense that...
So? Yeah. I mean, but it's like, if you're inside I think the gray area kind of comes, what's the pocket? Especially if they're right on the line or the pocket's moved.
Well, I think the bigger gray area is you just throw it if there's anybody in the vicinity. I mean, that's a broad, subjective term.
You mean if the receiver's in the vicinity?
In the vicinity.
So, yeah, okay, I can see that too. So, yeah.
It's very subjective, and, we would have had 9 sacks if he wouldn't have, because he would get hit, Minshew, and he would just throw it. He did that at least 5 times. So, we would have had 9-10 sacks if it wasn't for that. Ronald Jones got benched according to Bruce Arians because of his pass blocking. He was the reason why that fumble happened with Jameis Winston. And it's true. Between him and O.J. Howard, they are liabilities in pass protection.
And everyone's kind of raising a stink about it that, you don't bench your best back and it wasn't fair, that it was just one time. That's the problem. Right. It wasn't just one time. It's been all season. You've been talking about it all year.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to point out if anybody wants to look.
He's the worst one in pass protection of the running backs.
By far, yeah. Yes. It'd be him worse, and then Barber would be second. Barber's not too bad, and then Dare is good at it. So
okay.
But yeah, Ronald Jones and O.J. Howard just did not block well at all during this game. And, in the second half, we just... basically we were managing the clock at that point. So, Dare was in a lot, and then we would just run Barber.
It's interesting, BA's perspective on this, because he says you might be a good running back, but if you can't block, we're not putting you in because that's one of your responsibilities.
Yeah, it's a huge responsibility.
And it's just an interesting perspective. I don't know. Is it across the league? Do you think most coaches are like that, or do you think?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you watch game film. Running backs block more than they run, and there's a couple of running backs who are elite at it. Who was the Minnesota running back?
McKinnon?
No, it was a few years ago. Matt Asiata, number 44. He was elite. That guy was one of the best blocking running backs I've ever seen.
You're really pulling this one out of the archives. This is like 2016. He was with the Vikings.
Well, he was just that good. You remember him because, it was like he would blow people up. I want to say Cadillac Williams. Man, I can't remember now if it was Cadillac Williams or Pittman. It had to have been Cadillac Williams because it was later than Pittman. Was really good at pass protection. Best pass protection running back we've ever had. But yeah, it's a huge part of being a running back. And Ronald Jones just is not that good at it right now. Not only is he not good at the actual blocking part, but he's not very good at seeing where the block, because you have to be able to read where the blitz is coming at, and all that good stuff. And that's what happened with him on that play where Winston fumbled the ball. He didn't see where the blitz was coming from, went to the wrong side of the field. Winston got hit in the back.
And I think that happened during Atlanta, too. And it looked like it was on Donovan Smith, that Donovan Smith didn't pick up the blitzer, but Rojo went to the wrong side.
It's happened quite a bit. So I don't blame Bruce Arians at all for that. Rojo's got to get better at that part. There were a couple of times where we had penalties and they didn't call it. We actually, there was a lot of penalties in this game, but...
Yeah, the Jags had a ridiculous
16,
amount of penalties.
We had 8. So that's math, 24 penalties. There's a lot of penalties. But, it wasn't like the refs were throwing flags for ridiculous stuff. I don't agree with the flag that was thrown in the end zone on Levante David.
That one's so heartbreaking.
I know. When you pointed that out, I was just like, oh, no, he hadn't had a penalty in, 3-4 years or something?
2 since 2017.
Long
He's on
time.
a streak. And him and Eric Weddle were the only 2 in the league who had gone that long without a penalty.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of a BS penalty. But funny, after that play, he wasn't in. Kevin Minter came in for his spot. I don't know if, he went out because he got tweaked a little bit, or if they pulled him out because it was a third down play and, it cost us a touchdown. They ended up scoring a touchdown on that. No, wait. I think we got an interception. I think that's when Bunting got the interception. So anyhow, the point being is for that series, they took David out and put Minter in.
Maybe he was just so mad about the call.
Because you could tell he was really upset. He put his hands on his helmet. He was like, "Oh man, it was a BS call."
He made a comment about it.
What did he say?
I think he said it was bullshit.
Yeah, but there was a Watford. Watford was in. He came in the second half because Kappa apparently got hurt in the first half, and he played all the way through the first half. Bruce Arians said they didn't even know he was hurt. And then when they found out, they were like, why are you still playing? I mean, the guy's a trooper, man. So, yeah.
That's crazy. He played with a broken arm. What was the injury?
Don't know. I didn't see it.
We'll see it on the injury report.
But anyhow, 71 Hartford held 54 Payne on a 15-yard touchdown run. Yeah, Watford held on that touchdown run. It was a touchdown run because Watford held.
Of the hold.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I don't know how the refs missed that. I mean, it was plain as day. And then there was an instance where I think it was Watford or DeMar Dotson false started. And the whole Jaguars defensive line stood up and they were pointing and they were like, they didn't call it.
I remember that because we snapped the ball and everyone kind of paused?
No, it was a 4th and 1.
Okay.
That was the one, I think it's the one where Jameis did the quarterback sneak. I can't remember, but.
Should have been called.
Yeah. Offensive play calling was very good this week. It was very unique. They did a lot of unique stuff. I like that. Just little tweaks here and there, tricky stuff. I'm trying to think of any in particular. I should have wrote it down. I don't remember. But anyhow, there was a lot of little unique plays in there. Yeah, it was Watford that false started. That was in the third quarter, 10:42. We ended up making the first down on that. It was a 4th and 1. There was a few little interesting things in the video. I showed it. When Perryman caught that big pass, he stands up and he spins the ball right near our sideline. And you see Ryan Griffin, was he number 4?
Yeah.
He was number 4, yeah. Mm-hmm. He's standing over there and he does this little thing where he like rubs his hands together and holds them out like he's holding his hand to a fire at the ball. It was cute. I know, it was funny. There was another instance where Hayden, he on a field goal attempt, he jumps off sides, and that's when we went for 2. And then
okay, so it's the extra point.
Yeah, well, he jumps off sides, and I think it's Donovan Smith chips him as he's going by. Well, then he comes and he hits Matt Gay, and kind of jolts Matt Gay back. Well, Matt Gay turns around and says something to him, and he walks over to him. Hayden walks over to Matt Gay. Matt Gay sticks his hand out, kind of like, "It's all right, buddy, no big deal." And Hayden he doesn't smack his hand away, but he's like, starts to walk away. He's like, "I ain't gonna shake your hand. You're the enemy." So Matt Gay shoves him in the back. He's like, F you, buddy. It was funny. You ain't gonna shake my hand. I'm gonna push you in while you're walking by. Offensive line played pretty well. Donovan Smith had another outing. This is the 3rd week in a row. He's just not playing with the energy we saw in the first half of the season.
Maybe he's tired, man. These big guys.
Yeah, it's that vegan diet, I think.
I don't think he's kept up with that.
No. Well, there was one time where he went to block and just fell right on the ground, didn't block anybody, and just fell forward. It was very strange. There's a lot of weird stuff like that happened in this game. But our offensive line did very well against their defensive line. We held Leonard Fournette to 38 yards on 14 carries. It's a 2.7 yards per carry average. They had a total of 49 yards rushing.
That is so crazy.
I know.
And really not that much passing either. Less than 300
No, it was less than 300. Mm-hmm. When Minshew got in there, he scrambled a lot, and he was definitely much harder quarterback to deal with than Foles was.
He's more wily.
But he also was prone to a lot more mistakes, man. I mean, that guy, as soon as you grab him, he's just going to chunk the ball. He don't care. We had no first downs on 4 drives in the 4th quarter.
Huh.
Yeah.
Didn't really need them, I guess.
No, we were just managing the clock at that time, at that point. 4 of their 12 drives were 3 and outs.
Wow.
Yeah.
A third of them.
Yep. We did a good job with that. They had 4 sacks. We had 5. Our longest play was 32 yards. Theirs was 39. We had 6 plays over 20 yards. They had 3. Again, JPP he was the man in this game. He was destroying. He was doing a good job. He was all over the place, causing a lot of chaos and disturbance.
Was it because they were focusing on Vita, Sue, Shaq Barrett, or?
No, he was just beating his guys one-on-one. He was just playing with a lot of energy. They did a really good job, their front did, with holding Villa and Sue. As a matter of fact, it was the most impressive I've seen an offensive line do against those two yet. Huh. I think Villa had 1 play That's incredible for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't had just one play since the start of last year. Donovan Smith, O.J. Howard, and Jones were the worst players on the field as far as blocking was concerned. And I would just round it up. If I had to pick three, I mean, they weren't horrible, but they were the worst by far. Everybody else did pretty good.
I had no idea Kappa was injured. So they pulled him in the second half?
Yeah, he didn't play at all in the second half.
I heard Watford's name, but they have put him in those jumbo sets before, so I thought...
Well, they put Josh Wells in when they did the jumbo set. Yeah, he had a great play, man. I think it was a 54, Donald Payne, I think it was him, came in, and Josh Wells hit him, pancaked him, just took him to the ground, just opened up a big old hole. I think it was Peyton Barber, ended up getting like 7 yards. But yeah, he just laid that linebacker out. It was good. Whitehead, 31, he was great. He played he was all over the place.
I'm glad to hear that because I feel like he's kind of been a non-factor the last few games.
They blitzed him quite a bit in this game, too. One time he came rushing in, and their right guard, I think it was A.J. Khan, he pulled and scraped the back end and caught 31 coming in, decleated him. But 31 bounced right back up, chafed after the ball. I was impressed. I was like, damn, he got slammed. But
he likes that contact. It gives him more energy.
Mm-hmm. But that's about it. It was a good game. To be honest with you, I didn't see as dominant of performance by the Buccaneers as I thought I was going to see. The teams were kind of matched evenly. We played harder with more energy, and we wanted to win more. So
would you say we won the game or they lost?
I'd say we won. Yeah, we had a lot of good plays that they just couldn't. I mean, they couldn't overcome that 24-zip deficit at the beginning in the first half. It was just way too insurmountable for them. And none of that stuff was like fluke plays either. That was us making plays.
Right.
Their secondary is a little suspect. They seemed confused back there a couple times. We caught them. But our secondary was just spot on. I mean, just fantastic. It's been, 2 games in a row now where they've just played the lights out. I love that.
Well, I think it's important that we see progress.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
A lot of fans were defeated kind of towards the middle of the season. We're on this lose streak. Jameis Winston looks like crap. And people were talking about tanking for draft picks at that point. And so I think it was really important for the team to show us that they haven't quit. But I think not quitting for each other is more important. And on BA. It shows to me that they've bought in and that it's clicking more for them.
The fans and the media both, and the media really surprised me with this. After that Seattle game, everybody kind of turned positive towards the Bucs. And it really surprised me with the media. I did not expect that from them. But I think everybody saw that, we went into Seattle in their place, which was a very tough place to play, and took them into overtime, stood toe-to-toe with them.
Right, we were competitive.
Yes. And I think the media realized, hey, there's something really special going on here. And I think the fans did too. Really surprised me with the media with that part, though, because remember, the same thing happened in 2012 with Greg Schiano. We went to Seattle, went toe-to-toe with them, lost in overtime, and the media just crapped all over him. But they hated Greg Schiano, so they were going to crap on him no matter what he did.
Right.
But I think everybody can see that there's really something special about this team.
And we all felt it coming into the season. I was a little disappointed with all the losses because I thought, we're better than this. Why aren't we playing better than this?
Yeah, the Tennessee and the Giants game were 2 games where you were just really like, what? We should have won those.
And that second Carolina game where we just got trounced, that was really, to me, that was one of the more demoralizing ones.
Speaking of which, good segue there. The Redskins broke the Carolina Panthers. You lose to the Redskins, you get your head coach fired. If you're not aware.
Is it contagious? Like the Redskins fired their coach, then they get Ron Rivera fired from Carolina. Glad we don't have to play Carolina anymore.
There's a lot of contagious stuff in D.C., I can tell you that. It's not a clean place. Ron Rivera was fired today. There is
crazy.
Nobody saw it coming.
Except us. I thought he'd be fired by the end of the season, for sure.
We're going to have to go back. We're going to have to go back and look at our predictions. But we both said Cam Newton wouldn't make it through the year.
Because of injury. Or did we say he would get benched, or both?
I don't know. Either or. And I think you said Rivera was going to get fired at the end of the year, and I said he might get another year or something like that. But, hey, the landscape has changed. The NFC South used to be the most competitive division in NFL for the past almost decade. I mean, we've had every single one of our teams other than us has gone to the Super Bowl. Of course, 2 of them lost in humiliating fashion. And now, Matt Ryan's might not make it in Atlanta. I think they're going to do a house cleaning there at the end of the year.
That really surprises me the most, that his job could be in question.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
I didn't expect that.
He's played really bad. I think it was last week. I mean, the defense stepped up, gave them an opportunity to win, and Matt Ryan just crapped the bed. Ron Rivera's gone. Dan Quinn's probably going to be gone. I tell you, this is the last year of NFL as we know it. You got to look. Eli Manning, gone. Tom Brady might be gone from New England at the end of this year.
Right. He's a free agent.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Phillip Rivers is not playing great. They might bench him. There are talks of him getting benched.
Rivers, yeah.
Matt Ryan.
Andrew Luck, gone. Mm-hmm. Matt Ryan might be gone. Cam Newton, that's up in the air, but I think he's probably gone.
Going to be a free... Is he going to be a free agent?
No, he's supposed to get like $18 million next year.
Oof.
Yeah. So they're going to have a serious choice to make.
I think at minimum he's gone from Carolina. I don't know that he'll be out of the league, but...
Oh, no, some idiot team will pick him up. There's just a lot of big changes happening in NFL, especially at the quarterback position. All these old-timers are going away. I mean, Drew Brees is really the only one that's doing well of the old-timers. You got all the...
Except Tom Brady. I mean...
Yeah, he's not doing well.
Well, their team is doing well.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, they were doing well against crappy teams, but now that they're having to play, decent opponents, they're not looking so good.
But they're probably going to the playoffs. I know the Bills are like 8 and whatever, 9. They're close.
Oh, yeah. If you got a winning record in the AFC, you're going to go to the playoffs.
Oh, Andy Dalton, gone.
Andy Dalton, yeah. Well, he's back with...
Right,
Bengals,
momentarily.
But, yeah, momentarily. It's just it's the dawn of a new age. And there's a large possibility that the Buccaneers are going to be on top of that wave.
Yeah, we have Jameis Winston, who... He's got his ups and downs, but he is, when all those quarterbacks leave, he's going to be a veteran.
Yeah.
What's this, his 5th year?
Uh-huh.
So next year will be his 6th.
Right. Which I'm thinking we're probably just going to franchise him.
I think that would be the smart thing to do, yeah. For everybody involved.
Yeah. I mean, we got to sign Shaq Barrett. That's going to be a tough one because Shaq Barrett is going to want to test free agency. And if we can get an agreement with him that we can at least match whatever he's offered, that'll be fine. But I don't want it to turn into another Michael Bennett situation where he says, yeah, I'll let you match it, and then doesn't, just pieces out. Yeah, you know, the front office of One Buck Place has been trying to get him signed to an extension. And since nothing's happened yet, that's a good indication that, him and his agent, which is, it's Drew Rosenhaus, he's a bloodsucker. They want to get as much money as they can, so they're going to want to test out free agency. And, there's nothing we can do about it. We can let the guy, we can't stop him from going. So he's going to cost a pretty penny to keep. But we got to keep him, man. We got to keep him. We can't let him go.
What about JPP?
Well, I'd like to keep him too, but I don't know if we're going to be able to keep everybody.
Yeah.
Actually, I know we're not going to be able to keep everybody.
Right, we got Peyton Barber.
We got Peyton Barber, JPP.
Jameis.
Barrett. Nassib, isn't he coming up for...
I don't remember about Nassib, but Chris Godwin, because of his performance this season, he's going from $768,000 in 2020 to an estimated $2.14 million. This is per Greg Auman.
That's all he's getting paid now. That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah, that's the NFL's PPE, Proven Performance Escalator. Never heard of that before.
Must be in the news, CBA. So he's eligible for an extension after this season.
Yeah, we need to keep him. I tell you what, we got a lot of stuff. But our offseason is going to be nothing compared to the Carolina Panthers offseason and the Atlanta Falcons offseason.
Right, they're all in rebuild.
Oh, man, we're going to be on top of this division for a long time. Ron Rivera was fired as head coach of the Panthers. He had 9 years as a head coach, 3 winning seasons.
What?
Yes, it's crazy, isn't it?
That's incredible. I had no idea.
Went to the playoffs 4 times.
One of them with a losing season.
A losing record one year. Yeah.
Incredible.
It's incredible.
Well, I mean, they're the same record as we are right now. They're 5-7.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah. 5-7.
Yeah, his record with the Panthers has been 76, 63, and 1. But it's a little skewed because of the 3 years that they did have winning records. They won over 11 games. So.
Yeah, I think when they went to the Super Bowl, they were 15-1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that really skewed the numbers there. And Panthers fans I've been following them all day.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask you. What kind of
I've been
information
feeding
is
on their
coming out?
tears. No, actually, they all are extremely okay with this. It's like they've all been wanting it. They're like, he's a great coach. He's done great for us, but it's time to move on. He's just not. They're saying he's not doing in-game adjustments, not good management. He's gotten conservative again. Remember we used to call him Riverboat Ron?
Yeah.
Apparently that was like 3 years ago, and he hasn't been Riverboat Ron for a long time.
Because he's been on the hot seat.
Yeah. Norv Turner, he's their offensive coordinator. He got, I don't know if this is a demotion or a promotion, but he's not the offensive coordinator anymore. He is now the special assistant to the head coach. That is very, very strange to me. It's actually surprising to me that he didn't get the interim head coach job. Pierre-Paul did, who was their secondary coach. So why? I mean, Norv Turner has been a head coach before. He's been an offensive coordinator forever. He's a really good offensive coordinator. That's all he's good at. He's not good at head coaching. He's a horrible head coach. Maybe that's why they didn't put him in as the interim head coach. But why would they take him out of the offensive coordinator position? Now he's basically just, why did they fire him too? I mean, he's a special assistant to the head coach. What? I don't even know what that is. It's like they created a job for him, I guess.
Like he's consulting the interim head coach, maybe, because he's been a head coach before.
But they had to call him a special assistant, not an assistant. I don't know. It's very strange. All I know is I'm very happy to see the Carolina Panthers implode.
Hey, we might not have the first draft pick in the NFC South.
No, I'm
Right
telling you,
now,
we're
definitely
going to
not.
be second. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. In the
And
division.
for the Carolina Panthers to fire him now, they've given up on the season.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
yeah.
that kind of turmoil, you just can't.
Yeah.
It's hard to come back from that. It's a big shakeup mid-season. Like, they fire him on a Tuesday. Aren't you starting your game plan for the next week? Like, what are they doing?
We shall see. I think we're going to see a lot of Christian McCaffrey because he's really the only player they've got on offense anyhow. And I'm going to say this. I just want to throw this out there because it thrills me to no end. Mark Cook from Pewter Report had tweeted out that Gerald McCoy is a coach killer.
And I'm not even kidding. Ralph had texted me that about 2 hours before Mark Cook tweeted that.
Oh, yeah. That was one of my first thoughts when Ron Rivera got fired. I was like, well, there's Gerald McCoy at work again. This will be Gerald McCoy's sixth head coach. How do you even do that? And, of course, everybody's going to be like, well, you can't blame Gerald McCoy for this. No, you can't. But I can. I'm going to. and this is the perfect situation for him. Because if you notice, when he went to Carolina, he just absorbed the media. I mean, he was immediately in front of the camera constantly, had that little film done of him driving around the campus there with the media personnel and the golf cart and all this stuff. And he's been in front of the camera nonstop with them. Now, Ron Rivera's gone. Cam Newton's out of the picture, at least for now. So that leaves Gerald McCoy the voice of the franchise. Because Kuechly's not a, big camera guy. So this is now Gerald McCoy's franchise. He does this everywhere. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be very, very entertaining. I'm going to love the heck out of it. And it's so funny because the Carolina Panthers fans are the exact same way with him that Buccaneer fans were with him. They're like, oh, we love Gerald McCoy. He's such a great guy. He's a
good leader.
He's a good leader. He's got the...
his get off is so fast.
His get off is so fast. His mind, he's already got 4 sacks on the year. You're just like, oh my God. Okay. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
And here it was. I thought you were happy to be rid of him so we didn't have to watch him or talk about him anymore.
I haven't watched any All 22 on him, but I have seen a few plays. There was 2 plays that I saw where I was just like, yeah, that's typical Gerald McCoy. One, I think it was on a 4th down, and they ran right at him, pushed him out of the way, and got 4th down.
Yeah, that was on the broadcast, I think.
Yeah, and I think even the commentators mentioned it. They were like, wow, they just pushed Gerald McCoy out of the way for that.
Well, I think they said that's the biggest hole they had ever seen.
Yes, that's right. That's the biggest
what she said.
But there was one, and it might have even been in preseason. I can't remember. I don't think so. I think it was at the beginning of the year. But they were on, it was a goal line stand, and the running back runs and hits the line, and Gerald McCoy is standing there. And he turns around and starts walking away before the play is over. And the running back bounces off the the pile and then shoots right in the gap where Gerald McCoy should have been standing, but he was walking away at that point. I was just like, typical Gerald McCoy. So I'm really going to enjoy this whole Carolina saga. All you Buccaneers fans listening on this podcast are going to hear about it for the rest of the year. I'm going to just rub as many Panthers fans' face in it as I can. Oh, my goodness.
It's funny. I thought he was going to a contender.
He did go to a contender. He just blew it up. Nah, I kid.
I wonder if T-Bass was having an aneurysm when he read Mark Cook's tweet.
Probably. I'm surprised he didn't get on there talking some stats.
I was going to tweet a response, but...
I think I saw the other day where he tweeted and said that Sue is not as good. No, that Sue is not vital to our run game, and we could get rid of him and our run game would be just as good. That is insanity. That is somebody who does not watch the games at all. Not just the All-22, just the games. I mean, Ndamukong Suh is a huge, huge presence on our defensive line, and he is excellent. He's elite at run stopping. Elite. So anybody that says that, they're halfway to being, can we say retarded anymore?
No.
No? What's the politically correct term to use?
I don't think there is one.
No, okay. We just have to say, they're...
I got nothing.
I got nothing either. I don't know. So anyhow. So yeah, good day in football. This has been good. Buccaneers won. Panthers exploding. Now we just need the Falcons to do it. Please
yeah, they're teetering right on the edge.
They are, man.
We thought they were coming back.
And then we broke them.
We crushed them, and then they lost to New Orleans on Thursday Night Football. Who they played this week? I think they're the ones that play Carolina. Don't quote me on that.
That'll be great.
I think it is Atlanta. There was one team in the NFC South that had 5 division games in a row, and I think it was Atlanta.
So yes, they are playing the Falcons. Carolina's playing the Falcons this Sunday. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome.
I know.
I got to watch that game.
If this coach collapse is contagious, isn't it fitting that Carolina plays Atlanta?
Well, if Atlanta does not implode this week, they're definitely going to implode week 17 when they play us.
Dan Quinn will be fired before he leaves, right, Jay?
Yeah, probably.
But this game is at home, and they have had abysmal attendance. So we'll see.
That's got to be tough for an owner. You know, you're like, you spend all this money and effort trying to build a team, and you pay attention to attendance. And then you go, how can we get people in the seats, right? That's always a big question. How can we get people in the seats? So what do? You think, kind of like Dan Snyder used to do, was just get big names, free agents, just get as many free agents as you can to come in, and people will be like, hey, I want to go see these guys play. So it's really hard. I mean, what do? I mean, of course, they all want to build winning teams, I assume. But besides that, how do you get people to come? Don't know. I think it's something the Panthers and the Falcons are going to be dealing with for a long time. I think the Buccaneers are turning a corner. I think we're going to be a very winning team for years to come. We're going to start filling up our stadiums. Of course, I wish that we had filled up the stadiums even when we weren't winning, but hey, such is life. If I was dictator, I'd make everybody go to the game every Sunday.
All be required.
That'd be, yes, part of your citizenship.
Like a Buccaneers tax. You have to devote so much time. It's like civil service in Israel.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for me. We've got the Bruce Arians press conference at the end of the podcast here if you want to check that out. You got anything else to add, Molly?
Fuck the Panthers.
That's why I married you. All right, that's going to do it for us till next time.
Go Bucks.
Done a lot of that. I mean, is that a mentality? And is it something that's coached? Is it something that how do you?
Yeah, it's coached. I mean, we work on it constantly, turning the corner. Where's the ball? Is it up here? Is it down there? And finding the ball, but don't miss the tackle. And we have slipped off a few times going for sack fumbles when we should have just got the sack. If you're not seeing the ball, then you should be just tackling the guy. And but yeah, it's something that's both. You have to have the skill level to do it, but it's also coached.
This team was built so much around Jameis, in the beginning, the early years before you got here, obviously, and you know what the veterans on that side are. Jason has taken a lot of hits about his drafts and things, but when you look at guys now into their second years and some of these rookies that are playing, you can't expect them to be all pros the first week, but Vita Vea and now Carlton Davis and what he is in his second year. Does this show that you guys got some talented dudes.
Oh, there's some that first and second year bunch on defense. That's going to be fun for a long time. It's just going to get better and better. Just add a piece or two. Just keep them together. I think the veterans that are over there are not old. I mean, Levante looks like he's a 4-year guy, the way he flies around, and Sue's playing at a high level. So, yeah, just keeping them all together and just continue to grow.
You've had more challenges than most coaches this year and more reversals than most coaches this year. How big, in terms of just getting things going, was that Perriman, the decision to challenge and to get the reversal on that?
Oh, yeah, that was huge, and, Larry, guys upstairs do a great job of giving me good information, and they saw that one pretty quick, and he did a great job of just sliding his toe like he's taught, and a lot of times that's missed.
Coach, you were able to maintain the momentum swing when they brought in Mitch. My apologies if you were asked this question already, but what is it about the league when you actually make that quarterback change and go to a backup quarterback that gives a team a lift?
Well, that wasn't the first time he's been out there, and he played well when he was playing, and the reason he played well, he scrambled all over the place. It was all mostly broken plays, and he extended his plays and makes plays. We talked a lot at halftime. If they made the switch, we have to be a little more contained, conscious. He still slipped out of there a few times because he looks to get out, but we did a good job of handling it. I thought the Sean's interception kind of put the whole fire out, and was a great play.
Coach, you see a lot of young defensive players, whether it's Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Jamel Dean, Devin White, kind of get their first turnovers in the past couple of weeks. How much does that do for their confidence moving forward and growing when they are such young players?
It's huge. Once you do it, you can. Devin sacks last week. The interception this week, the touchdown would be huge for him, his growth. Sean, that's second time for him now, I like all those kids are getting more and more. I see Mike Edwards playing faster and faster. I hope to get Anthony Nelson healthy soon, let him get back out there. So, that whole group, somebody just asked me what rookie probably has had the most impact. Of course, I started naming out, and I forgot about Matt Gay. He's probably had the most impact of all of them. And it's been a great group.
After that Murphy Bunting pick, you guys kind of in there at the one, to where they were still threatening a little bit. That punt, it's like you punt from the
Can't
one.
say enough
They
of it.
got
Yeah.
back to their 20.
Yeah, it was a great kick, great coverage, and they hit us right in the back, and so can't say enough. Hit the one but Bradley's been outstanding all year. But that was a huge field swap.
Do you think there's a point where those guys, I think Devin might have mentioned this, and I don't want to misquote him, but when you're young like that, but everyone recognizes you need to grow up, please grow up, that there comes you talk about accountability a lot, but within that group, before Devin could lead the whole team, he had to lead that class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how much was he behind? Hey, we can't be the weak link here, they're counting on us. We have to get, and then you started to see people. And
I think. And with his injury, it really hurt him, set him back, probably 6 weeks before he could do that. And he still was with them talking to the rookies, but when you're not playing at that level, you can't talk that level. Now he can back it up, and he's bringing it not only to rookies now, it's everybody. It's everybody.
You mentioned Dean and the Kappa injuries yesterday, but both of those guys in play for this week?
No more probably this afternoon. Jamel looked a little pretty sore. Don't know what Caps is yet, but again, he probably played a quarter with it, didn't say anything, and I wish he'd have said something because he was struggling a little bit.
Colin Nass missed a couple of games prior to the last couple of weeks. Missed practice on Friday. How important has it been to get him back, to get him into that rotation with the other guys?
It's huge. I think that's the other thing. If those guys are fresh all the time. Plus, Carl can go inside and do damage against guards. That's where his strike. So he just his versatility and being able to have a great rotation. We've got a good rotation, inside guys and now outside guys. And Sam jumped in there and got a sack fumble.
That second touchdown, you guys got that penalty in the extra point where it gave you the shot from the one. As a general rule,
Yeah, for me, if it's on the one, we're going. Yeah, we're not kicking. It's very seldom has it happened for us, but if you jumped up, we're definitely going straight to the 2 points.
I know you said yesterday, Rojo didn't get a lot of looks because he had the missed blitz pickup, but it's not the first time, right, this season, and we're more than halfway through. So just to talk about the importance of that, it seems obvious, but if your quarterback gets blown up, it could be the season, right, at any point during the year. I mean, it's that important, right?
Yeah, and that was a fumble. That was a big. We had a game in hand, and it was something that had been switched. The way we were going to block something because of their blitzes, and he went to block the guy he used to block, and that wasn't the plan. And it's just, and he works his ass off, and he's going to get better at it, and because we need him running the football. But you can't run the football if you can't protect the quarterback.